Thank you so much for joining me for this session. I really wanted to get some sessions in with different holistic therapists for pregnant people, just to give people more of a range of options and information on the different kinds of therapies and different options that are available to them throughout pregnancy. So I really appreciate you giving up your time to do this, because I think it's a really interesting topic to talk about, and I think it's something that not very many people necessarily consider for pregnancy particularly, and I think there's quite a lot of benefits with Reiki for pregnancy.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Did you want to just introduce yourself, Becca, and explain who you are and what you do?
Yeah, of course. So my name's Becca and I'm a Reiki practitioner. So I work a lot with lots and lots of different people, but essentially connecting people into their energy, which is, we're all made up of amazing energy, and throughout our life, throughout our time, we are collecting energy within us, which stores and causes blockages. And Reiki is basically an incredible alternative therapy that can help us rebalance our body and make us feel a lot calmer, a lot more on the right path in life, but also connecting ourselves to ourselves, as well as, and I'll go on to being pregnant and connecting into your baby, which is a very beautiful and magical spiritual moment that can happen with Reiki. So yeah, that's basically a bit about who I am really, and what I do.
Oh, so for somebody who doesn't know anything about Reiki at all, could you just explain a little bit about what Reiki is and what you do when you practice Reiki?
Yeah, of course. So basically, Reiki is an amazing ancient Japanese practice which works with pure love and universal energy. And it essentially helps to rebalance, as I mentioned, reharmonize the body, and it works on our physical body as well as our energetic body. So we have two sort of beings inside of us, if you like, our kind of soul vibration and our physical vibration. And essentially, on a scientific kind of level, we are all energy, we are all atoms, we are all vibrating. And as I mentioned, with that, you know, we can get clogged up with energy, you know, and what Reiki can do is it basically allows the body to reprogram and rebalance its energy centers. So Reiki works with the chakra system, and for those who are not aware of the chakra system, we have 7 main chakras in our bodies. And we have one that's around the crown chakra, which is our connection to the universe, but it's also our connection to our higher self. It allows us to be calm. It allows us to feel connected to all that is around us and people and everything like that. It's a really important chakra. When it's closed, we can feel isolated. We can feel really out of touch with ourselves and disconnected from others. So it's a beautiful chakra to have open. Then we've got our third eye chakra, which is just between the eyebrows, which is our intuition, it's our guidance, it's our inner voice, which is very, very important as well. It's also our creativity, which is such a beautiful thing to activate and open. And then we have our throat chakra, which is all about, you know, speaking our truth, speaking openly, speaking confidently, self-expression, which is just an incredible thing to have. And then we have our heart center, heart chakra, which is such a powerful energy center, which is all about self-love, self-appreciation, compassion, but it's also the hub of our immune system. So when we have low immune systems, usually our heart center, our heart chakra is blocked. So it's a key area to work on, especially in pregnancy, because obviously our immune system goes to the baby and all of that sort of stuff. So it's a really key area to open and keep open. And then coming down into our solar plexus, which is just below our breastbone and just below in between our ribs. And this is our energy center. So this is like everything that drives us forward. It's our personal power. It's our life force energy. So obviously with pregnancy, all of those chakras from the lower triangle they are completely disrupted and they change, and it's completely different. So our energy is down, you know, a lot of the energy is going to the baby, you know, when we're no longer able to put ourselves first and all of that stuff. So energetically, so much shifts during pregnancy. So it's a key area to work on, definitely, to help us get rid of fatigue, lethargy, and all things like that. And then coming down into our sacral, which is just below the navel, and this is our womb center. So this is the baby when we're going through pregnancy. But without pregnancy, it's our passion. It's our like happy button. It's what gives us our kind of our sense of adventure, our fluidity, if you like, and all of that beautiful energy is what grows and harvests a baby as well. So it's an energy that is important to be connecting into throughout pregnancy, because it's the energy, it's the part where you'll be truly connecting into that spirit of baby that you're growing, which is just so magical. And then we have our root chakra, which is everything from our hips down to the earth, and this is our grounding, this is our stability, this is our connection to self, connection to earth. But also it's our safety and allowing us to feel balanced in what we're doing and where we are in life, really. So yeah, that's kind of a little overview of our body and Reiki, really.
Okay. And when you do a Reiki therapy, what is it that you're doing with the person that you're treating?
So essentially, I'm connecting them into their energy, which is a very amazing feeling. Basically, the sensations are completely different for each person, and that's also amazing. It shows how individual we all are as people. But one of the common things that people tend to feel during a Reiki session is really deep sense of calm and deep sense of relaxation. But you also might feel like tingling and pulsing throughout the body, which is activating your energy. We might have jolts or twitches within ourselves, which is energy physically leaving the body, which is amazing when that happens, because it's such a big weight that can shift and can release. For a pregnant woman, you know, the things that can happen, a pregnant person, the baby can really wake up and be really curious and start to connect, depending on how far along the person is. And you can really feel the energy from the little one, you know, depending on how far along. But essentially the mother can feel a deep connection, deep rooted connection, which is very, very special. But essentially how I work and how I connect, so I do a mixture between hands-on and hands-off Reiki, working with different energy symbols, and I also channel energy through sort of mantras in my own mind and things like that. But the therapy is non-talking therapy, so it's not something that you come to that, you know, you need to drag up or talk about things that are bothering you. It's simply releasing through on an energetic level, which I think is quite a beautiful yet different way to do things.
So can it help with physical ailments as well as emotional ailments then?
Oh, completely. And for pregnancy, you know, it can really help with lower back pain. It can help with morning sickness. It can help with fatigue. It can help with high blood pressure, because essentially it's allowing the body to calm. And also it can really help on an energetic level, but also can feel quite physical. Anxieties and emotional imbalances that come with pregnancy. During and also after, right? Because energetically what happens in the body when we are growing a baby, but then also when we give birth, we are disrupting, the growth of the baby is disrupting our own energy system, which can cause all sorts of, you know, high different emotions. You know, we can be crying, we don't know why, or we can have a really off day, and it's because obviously the growth of the baby is triggering our emotion to shift, our energy to shift. And once the baby's left us, obviously, and we've given birth, our body has experienced a massive trauma, and we have to almost regroup that energy and rebalance those chakras once more for us to feel good again, because it can be very draining, and, you know, all of these things that can happen, but it's such a beautiful, positive experience. But what Reiki can do is enable our bodies to cope throughout all of these changes and make it a much more enjoyable, a more relaxing, and a much happier experience, really.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds amazing. So what kind of feelings would somebody experience when they're having a Reiki session?
So as I mentioned, like obviously physical feelings and sensations is different, but pulsing and things like that. It can also be an emotional release that can happen. You know, bottled up emotions can be released through emotion, which I always invite my clients to truly just know this is a safe space to release however it comes to release, whether it's through a cry or whether it's through you know, energetic jolt or whatever it might be. And the beauty of Reiki is that it actually works up to 3 days after a healing. You know, we lock in the energy so that you're connected, and within that time also after healings, you know, it's not unnormal to feel emotional, you know, but the best thing to do after healing is to drink as much water as you can to flush out energetically, but also on the physical body. Have some baths and have a bit of you time, a bit of TLC. A lot of the clients that come to me who are pregnant obviously feel exhausted, physical exhaustion. So it's just also trying to find that balance within your life, to make time for you and make time to put yourself a priority, because your body's going through a hell of a lot, you know. So it's things like that, really.
Okay. And do you have to believe in Reiki for it to work? Because I imagine that you get some skeptical people coming to you.
Of course, definitely. I mean, it's obviously very wacky and unusual, and it's such a weird concept for those who have never maybe entered into any kind of spiritual practice. But what I would say is the beauty of Reiki is you don't need to believe in it or be spiritual or have engaged in any spiritual practice prior to having Reiki. It's open to everyone and is honestly, no matter how blocked we are, you know, sometimes depending on how blocked our chakras are, especially our spiritual chakras, might change the amount you feel during a healing. But essentially it's like an ongoing therapy, right? So the more you connect in, the more you channel, the more you go in, the more you will really go deeper into your being. And it's interesting because I have had obviously I've had multiple skeptical people, and it's just amazing to see and speak to them after, and for them to explain how they felt during healings. And I had a woman ring me up actually, and she said, oh, I need to book my husband in for a healing. He's experiencing extreme pain in his knees and his hands, and we've gone down the medical route, but they've done scans and there's nothing there. So obviously in that sense, it's usually energy blockages. When we have energy blockages, they can turn into physical manifestations, and we get knee pain, we get back pain, all of these sorts of things. So anyway, I turned up, and she kind of said, I haven't actually told my husband what you do. I thought it'd be good if you explain it. He's never had anything like this before, or a massage. And I thought, oh, okay, that's fine. So I had to, obviously, I said to him, you know, try to explain on a scientific level how it works, but just explain to him to have no expectation, to just sort of allow to relax, but also just to feel safe to let go and just see what it's all about. And my God, he had the most amazing, deepest healing ever. You know, his body was jolting and releasing. It was great. And afterwards, he was just so blown away by the whole thing, which was amazing. And he was obviously asking all the questions. And then the next day, I got a phone call from his wife, and she said his pain's completely gone. And I actually didn't believe it would have gone with one session because he felt so blocked.
Yeah.
But I couldn't believe it. It was amazing. And then she said, oh, he'd like to just book you in for another couple of sessions just for relaxation. I was like, oh, brilliant, that's great. So there's situations like that, and I think it's one of those things that you can't truly explain Reiki until you feel it yourself, you know?
Yeah, to experience it yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So how have you been connecting with clients during COVID? Because obviously it's been difficult with lockdown and social distancing rules and things.
Yeah, of course. So obviously everything completely changed. We've all had to adapt and experience a new way of living. So face-to-face healings wasn't possible. But the beauty of Reiki as well is that you can connect through distant healing. So the way that I connect into a person in face-to-face is exactly how I can connect to somebody from a distance, which is very difficult for some people to get their heads around, because it is vast with how deep the connection of Reiki goes. But one way I try and explain distant healing is, imagine it to be like a spiritual radio connection, radio wave connection. So the way the radio works is that, you know, radio waves go through the air and they don't need to be connected. There's no cables, there's no nothing. It goes through the air and connects to a receiver. And Reiki, distant Reiki, works in the exact same way. I will be connecting into you as if you were in the room. But the way that I do my distant healings is from the comfort of my own home and from the comfort of my client's own home. So I tell them to get all nice and cozy, whether it's on their bed, whether it's on the sofa, light some candles, make it a really pampering evening for themselves.
Yeah.
And I don't do it over Zoom out of choice, because I like, you know, I feel like sometimes electricity and things can the one-to-ones I like to do away from Zoom. And I basically will message the client beforehand and let them know that I'm about to connect. And then obviously when I'm connecting in, they will be experiencing the exact same sensations they would be experiencing as if they are in the room, which is very amazing. And always the feedback after that is, you know, people are quite blown away by the fact that, you know, it actually works. And, you know, everyone's thinking, oh, it's probably not going to work, or it won't be as strong, or all of these kind of things. But again, it's amazing how lockdown, I've still managed to connect with clients, which has been so important, because a lot of people have needed healing during that time. But now obviously I'm back up and running. I'm wearing the PPE mask and a normal face mask, and cleansing my space spiritually, but also physically, with lots of different things. So yeah, it's lovely to be able to connect back in person, but I still do have quite a few clients that prefer to connect distantly. And I do workshops as well, which is all on Zoom at the moment. I collaborate with an amazing sound healer. She does these crystal bowl sound healings, which also is another alternative therapy, which is amazing during pregnancy for connecting to your baby and everything like that. And all of those workshops are done via Zoom, and that is through distant healing as well. And they are deeply relaxing, deeply beneficial for pregnant people, but also for anyone really, because it really helps to relax the physical body, helps to rebalance the energetic body, and allows us to release. It's another way, which is great.
Yeah. And I think it's so important when you're pregnant to be able to take that time to relax and have some time to yourself, and also to switch off and get used to, with the hypnobirthing, it tracks, it's obviously the hypnotherapy, but it's a case of switching off and practicing being able to switch off and really get into a certain mindset in a certain zone, and get into a very deep state of relaxation, which some people find quite difficult, I think, because we have such busy lives. I think some people find it really, really hard to kind of close your eyes and relax and not have your mind wander and start thinking about what you're going to put on the shopping list for tomorrow, and you can reply to that email, and you know. So I think these kind of like relaxation sessions are really, really good to be able to kind of practice that mindfulness as well as having the healing side. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. And I think that's such a good point. And I think we're all guilty of that, you know, because life takes over. But the disconnect between living in our minds and stuff is all down to chakra blockages. And the more that we open, the more that we connect, the easier we find it to be able to settle, the easier we find it to be able to rebalance, refocus, and just switch off, because it's something that we've kind of all lost really. And that's, you know, this fast-paced life that we live, and it's very toxic for our bodies, always on the go, always, you know. And it's extremely important, you're right, it's extremely important to find time to switch off, to enable us to be more mindful and be able to connect into our bodies, definitely.
Yeah. Just going back to the distance Reiki point.
Yeah.
So I've experienced distance Reiki myself, because I was in my 20s. I was really ill, and my I think it was my uncle arranged for a Reiki healer to do some distance healing on me, and it was fantastic. It was really good, and I don't know if it was almost like too good, because I completely recovered from my illness.
Amazing.
They couldn't find any trace of my illness at all. Completely gone to the point where the consultant actually said to me, maybe they got the blood tests wrong, because maybe I didn't have it in the first place, because there was like no trace whatsoever. But I do believe that there's something in it, because I've experienced it myself, and coming from a family of holistic therapists myself, a lot of the other therapies, they work around energies as well. So acupressure, acupuncture, they all work with energies and pressure points and things. So I think I definitely think that there's a truth to these kind of therapies, for sure.
Definitely, that is absolutely amazing. What an incredible story. And I think, yeah, I mean, this is the power of energy. This is the power of alternative healings, and it's so magical to hear these kind of stories. You hear people recovering from cancers, you hear people recovering from so many different things, and it's incredible just how releasing blockages from the physical body, it can enable us to just heal ourselves, right? It enables us to do that. It's really special. So it's lovely.
Oh. So do you want to tell me a little bit about your therapy space?
Yeah, of course. So I'm based in Hayes in Bromley, and my therapy space is in a beautiful kind of light and airy conservatory, and I like to think that it's quite a calming space to invite people into, and I offer quite a wide sort of array of therapies. So I don't just work with pregnant people. I also work with children, which is very special, and something that I absolutely love doing. I also work with mothers and fathers and children and babies after the person's given birth, which is amazing. So I do like spiritual bonding healings to sort of connect the family together, I guess, which is really special. I also work on a trauma level, so lots of my clients have experienced trauma in their lives, whether it's a physical trauma through cancer, or whether it's emotional trauma through I've had lots of different things, from abuse and all of that sort of stuff. So it's been amazing to be able to help so many different pockets of people. I also work with animals, which is also very special. Work with lots of dogs, anxious dogs, which is so lovely. So so Reiki is basically open to everyone, which is so special. It's not, not for anyone in particular, it's for everyone. And it can pretty much heal and help most things, which is just incredible, really. So I feel it's open for most people, which is great.
I guess it's because everything is made out of energy, isn't it? So you can help anybody, because everybody's made up of the same energies, aren't they?
Exactly. And we're all connected, which is just incredible. And when you connect into Reiki, you really do feel that deep sense of connection, that we are all connected. That's how I can connect into anyone, is because we are connected. We are all made up of the same thing, which is just so
So just out of my own interest, so when you do a treatment on somebody, do you find it quite draining then to if you're doing treatments and you're working with energies? How does that affect you personally?
Well, the way I do my healings and stuff, with Reiki, you basically set the intention that you're grounding any energy that you're interacting with. So therefore, it shouldn't necessarily attach to you. So that's the way I practice. So when I'm channeling energy and I'm working on someone, I've set the intention, I'm detached, we are not connected in that sense. Like I will not absorb the energy. So the way I work and the way I've managed to practice is that, and I don't feel drained energetically or anything like that. And I personally, on a personal level, because we all have our own energy, you know, I practice daily, I give myself Reiki daily, I practice meditation, I practice all sorts of different things myself, because in order to be able to heal, you have to be healed yourself, essentially. You have to be rebalanced, you have to be harmonized. So essentially, in that sense, no, I wouldn't say it drains me at all. And if anything, it gives me energy knowing that, you know, I'm able to help. Every healing is quite energizing because it's always such an experience and such a positive kind of experience. So yeah, no, I'd say maybe the opposite, you know, in a really good way.
Yeah. Oh, so I can't think of any other questions that I wanted to ask you. But if anyone wants to get in touch with you to find out more about your therapies, where should they go to look you up?
Yeah, of course. So the best thing to do is either email me, which I can give you. I'm sure you can put it with the podcast, but it's basically rebecca.pankhurst16@gmail.com, and you can email me with any inquiries or any questions. It doesn't need to be to book. I can send you, you know, a detailed sort of overview about Reiki, so you can read through it and digest it in your own time. The other place is Instagram, obviously, and mine's at Becca.Pankurst, I think. So, and that's me on there, really. So yeah.
And we're going to do a sound bath infused with Reiki session, aren't we?
Yes, we are. I'm really excited about that.
Really good. That's going to be for expectant mothers. But anyone can join, really.
Yeah, I think for that it'd be amazing to do a group, obviously on Zoom, a workshop which we're going to do together, which will be expecting mothers, but also maybe new mums that just need a bit of love and a bit of healing, that have just given birth or in their first sort of few months or whatever of having a child. Any fathers out there that need a bit of healing, because it isn't just all about the women, you know, we are all going experience.
We always get dads, don't we?
Yeah, exactly. They're going through it too, emotionally. There's all that kind of thing with new fathers. They're not quite sure what to do, and that also causes distress in their bodies, you know. So yeah, so the healing that we're going to hopefully do will be open to anyone who's experienced anything, you know, related to pregnancy. It could also be open to those who have experienced trauma through miscarriage or anything like that. You know, this is a healing that is open to everybody, just to give yourself a bit of TLC. And that, as you said, will be a beautiful Zoom sound bowl healing, as well as the distant Reiki, which is very, very powerful. And if you haven't tried it before, I'd really recommend you just giving it a go and just seeing how you connect with it, because it's something that's truly magical and can really help to just make us feel instantly a bit better and a bit more positive and a bit more energized and relaxed.
Oh, thank you so much for your time, Becca.
Of course, thank you for having me. It's been lovely.
I've learnt loads.
Good.
Thank you.
No worries.